Hello everyone, and this is the WICSO episode 11. And well, in last episode we saw the completion of mainland Europe being completely filled in by new kingdoms. We saw Lower Africa getting a lot of new countries in. And well, the Floridian country not exploding but certainly shrinking as it lost land to New England and Texas. A new country in Quebec. And Alaska, a very small section of that weird strait Alaska has that goes on the border of Canada. Yeah, I saw this little country coming out because it just felt like it. But where are we going to start with? What we're going to start with is the Holy Chinese Empire. As we see, the Chinese from this blue, Jesus Christ, I'm colorblind. From this green team landing onto the mainland Korea, exploring as well, this island being landed by the yellows. They start to explore, sorry. Let's see the red team exploring down, reaching to the Korean Peninsula. But what we see is the Korean Peninsula up there, yeah, being explored. And I will just say, pardon if I do just go, if I ramble on or go silent from it. I've got quite a bad headache. Dedication to WICSO. What we will see is in new states, or new kingdoms being made in the as not dukes, but high-ranking people in these kingdoms will go to corrupt themselves while staying in the thingy. We see a South Korean state being made. We just see a Southern Yellow Japan taking this one. And we also see this one. We see the North Korean state being made, which is quite extensive. But both of these countries will stay in the Holy Japanese Empire. As I explained last time, now the Holy Japanese are an empire. Although you could class them as an empire now, they have obviously not colonies, but more an extension of the territory. Cross-national. Okay. So we will have explorers from this Vietnam country. We're trying to get to the Philippines, but getting lost, taking a wrong turn, landing on Taiwan, and they got lost really, so they don't know their way back, so they're just going to set up an outpost of their own country, which will be this one. Quite this one. Quite a nice colour to be fair, if you ask me. But then a second voyage will be made to actually reach the Philippines, and they will land on here, leading to the the Vietnamese setting up their own form of colony, becoming truly an empire at the time. Very primitive one, but an empire nonetheless. I mean, we also see them landing on this island, expanding much further upwards. Yeah. But We'll also see this pink country making their own landings, exploring a lot of the southern part of Malaysia. Well, between the two countries of Vietnam and North Borneo, they're just gonna explore, all of it, and yeah, take over. Well, we're going to come to a peace treaty, a sort of land deal. Sorry, to explain who's going to take what. This is what we'll end up with, and this is what Vietnam will end up with. But do know these islands will be very sparsely populated. Probably a grand total of population of 5 between them. Yeah. This country over southern Borneo continue their expansion with exploration, landing on the island of Papa, I think it's called, or wherever Papua New Guinea is. Actually, exploring a decent chunk of it, nice little bit, exploring these islands, not quite reaching Australia yet. These, what islands are? I don't know what this island is, but this country. Yeah, hot. That's not quite right. The hot pink. Well, yeah, the hot pink Indonesian country will lay claim to all these southern islands. As we can see or predict in the near future that Australia will probably be discovered by the next episode, if not by these geezers, in which they will continue their island hopping little campaign they have, exploring these ones. Also a few of these ones. So we can imagine these, there might be the first interaction with the Egyptian territory, of Egyptian-born civilization. They take over these islands. Becoming quite navally dominant in the area, to be fair. Quite good, isn't it? Right. Yeah, so Eastern Europe. More exploration for Eastern Europe, eh? Yeah. A lot of this territory, especially in the Caucasus area, we sort of explored. Yeah. As well as more into Finland, Karelia region will be explored by Finland, would you get it? Ooh. Who would have guessed Finland, but they will also promptly explore around the Baltic Sea, as well as these two countries will realise it is one consecutive landmass, which they probably already know, they just didn't quite explore the landmass around it. Yep. There's a lot more of this land. It's going to be explored. And well, I'll do some division of the land off screen in which we'll see. Yep, we see this happening as Finland will take a lot of this northern region, moving yeah. Yep. We're taking all of this land. We will see Baltica, that's what the new name will be called. taking much of this southernish area of the Baltics and in a Russia, out of Russia. Not an idea. And yeah, sorry if you can't quite hear me that well, but I might be mumbling a bit. Because as well as having a headache, I'm a little bit tired. So after this, I will be going to sleep. Yeah. You know, the YouTube grind, it calls. Yeah. Yep. So Ukraine will take a massive chunk of land here, as well as Russia doing this little weird finger here. And we'll have some. Ooh, what country would this? Caspia. Yep, Caspia. That's their new name. We also see a bit of land grab by the Brown team, which weren't really a major part of the exploration, but there's still land around them. And speaking of them, we're going to do a bit of South Asia and Central Asia because they've gone quite ignored for a while. Yeah, which actually, the Indian currency will absolutely tank. As like, you just need to know it tanks because it tanks. So for that reason, they're going to go into civil war. Yep, so we see the Indian government not really do that well, as the king failed to rebrand the currency, and numerous sparks of the country break out as a southern Indian state, which I can't remember if they used to be an independent. It might have been. They might have been, because then I think the invasion of no. So if I remember history, the Indian team came from South India. They invaded northwards. Then the Bengalis and the Vietnamese fled from the old Indian Empire. There we go. Yeah. But in the early days of the war, we see the Indian military sort of failed to put together a response. So these rebel groups, a lot of them will be able to specifically link up, especially up here, where there's not the best of supply. Yeah. Up here, they were able to link and also take this major city. And they will put pressure on this one, not quite reach it yet. The target of this one will be to try and cut India in half, and they will get close to stopping outside of this city, major city, and being a bit being a bit further away from that one. But unfortunately for the Indian government, they will take this. But this is like the capital region, as we know. Even the capital has gone up in flames, so the government has had to flee to this major city up here. That's why it's more defended than the other cities, because they can't have the government fall or the king. As we see, a lot of these being more republic status, and actually our first ever democracy, technically, will be found in this very weird blue colour. And because before this is like, if there was a republic, they were still ruled by a senate. No, they were not fully rid of a monarchy or an absolute ruler. Whereas these people, they've had the ideas of democracy. and that's what they're going to go hold with. And well, we're not going to continue the Indian Civil War right now, but what we actually a final thought, well, we will see the Bengali nation fight to try and reclaim some of their old land, and they will launch an invasion linking up to this rebel group, and they will actually work together, and they will push to the very outskirts of this country. That's where we'll leave it here, but we'll see a massive occurrence as this purple nation will decide to join with the purple one to form an even greater empire. Yeah, so as this nation unites, this little province over here, the people in the purple country, the government that just went over, they made a deal very shortly after uniting, and they're going to sell off the purple team will sell off this little province over to the orange team in central, in the Persian, Iranian sort of land, giving them quite a lot more, fair bit more sea access, which is good fun. But as I said, we'll focus our attention more on Central Asia, in which we see a lot of this land up here being explored by the brown team, some bits of the yellow team, just general explorers from around the bits and places. But what we will see is a group from this green Indian team, seeing that the government is most likely going to collapse. Other parts of like the government and governors and whatever it would have been in charge, living in this sort of area, will flee, knowing what would await them if they stayed, and they will leave into to the Himalayas, roughly be here, sort of like settle and explore around here, and as such they will be creating create a purple Tibetan team. Yeah, and we're gonna go to Europe for a nice little part. No. Yeah, around here. So this part of the Italian Empire, which was given to them through a peace deal with the Spanish. It's going to go into open rebellion and want to rejoin Spain. Yeah, we see a lot of people around this city, especially in the northern areas around here. Basically, the entire thing just going up into rebellion, and even a few immigrants from Spain on these islands will consequently also go into rebellion, wanting to join Spain, in which, well, the Italians will make a deal after landing on these islands, taking them back. They would allow not for the reunion of these two countries, but an independence. We would also see very similar occurrences happening along the border and in this top corner here, in the purple team, in which they will also strike a deal, in which this country will be allowed to take a lot of this northern part, but allowing them to hold on to the part which is the straits, in which we have a rather Mediterranean Spanish country. Very cool, very cool. I just wanted to fix the borders for that. Well, I think I missed this part from when we filled in Europe a little go back. Let's just fix this then. But what we will see is some explorers from this country. They sort of know, they've explored around the coast of Norway but not landed on it. And they do now know that it's very mountainous, and some people are interested in more of a colder climate, more of a winter climate and a mountainy one. So a group of these interesting people make their way up along like this sort of thingy and setting up dark green Norway colour. But well, Sweden will go into rebellion against the Danish government, and just when the Danish try to take back control, a few militia will shoot the diplomats and the soldiers dead very sneakily, so no thing is achieved, and they are forced to recognise the independence of Sweden. Yeah, not all is well for the Danish, not at all. And let's enjoy a bit of Quebec. See, the Quebecan loyalists to Florida, that's a very weird sentence to say, will continue to explore along the coast and explore a few islands before promptly setting up civilization in the name of Florida. Quebec will set up like a very large, expansive sort of civilization, encompassing a lot of this sort of thing. They'll also set up over more maintain the way they came. Yep. And well, some people, as similar to how Norway was just created, will actually quite enjoy the snowy conditions, the snowy environment, and want to go one step further and continue heading north. So a group of these interesting individuals will sail from the capital, landing on this sort of land, continuing the voyage to here, exploring along the coast for making a great voyage, landing in this part of Greenland, just exploring around. And we will have a very fishing-based society on Greenland, known as New Quebec. Nah, not really, but yeah. We'll see is also this want to be empire of whatever it is this place is called. Well, here from Quebec, because they're in touch, they're on friendly terms. They'll hear about Greenland and set their own voyages So from Newfoundland, they will sail up the coast, reaching to this point, making a very dangerous journey, landing on this part of Greenland, giving the Greenlandish a bit of company on there. So the people from Nova something, I really can't say it, will sail the boats and make an overseas colony on Greenland. Takes us to, never mind. What we're going to see is California. They're kind of tired of having to build their own cities, so for that reason, they send troops down into Baja California, catching them off quite by surprise, getting a fair bit down, and send a few troops down here, managing to take this major city before West Mexico can make a response. And well, that's what they do. We will also see the Aztecs, suffering their defeat from the Texans, will be looking to get some more land themselves. So they will also start an invasion, quickly capturing this lower city, pushing up. After months of battle, the Californians will be able to take this major city and continue pushing, and in the span of a year, roundabout, be able to take over the entire peninsula, as well as pushing even further into West Mexico, take this city, and in the meantime, the Aztecs or Mexicans will be able to take over the rest of this place, leading to a peace deal. The West Mexican land will be divided like this, giving the Aztecs these 2 major cities, and California these 4. But that will not be the end of the story of the West Mexicans, as they will sail on their boats, hoping to reach new lands and restart their nation, in which they will sail with about 2/3 of their people dying out. They will finally reach Hawaii, and that's for just to explore it all with the very limited people they brought, then promptly settle all of this land, continuing the West Mexican story. Yeah, well, I think this will do us for today's episode. As well, we've seen a lot happen. A lot. Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, join the Discord, which will be put in the description down below. Thank you for watching.